And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. For those tuning in on Amazon, if you guys are new to us here on the platform, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You'll see it here in this corner or down below. You will also see the books by our next guest. And I should say, I'm so excited about being able to welcome back not only our friend Tina Siemens, but she's now beginning 2024 with her books being award winning. She's the author of two books. You guys can see them in the carousel. I have mine here. The first one is Seminole. Some People Never Give Up. You guys can see it there. It's available in paperback as well as a Kindle edition. I'm highlighted for you guys on the Amazon side. Also, she has her book, The Little Sandals That Could, also available, of course, as I mentioned, in paperback, as well as the Kindle edition as well. We're going to talk to Tina not only about her recent recognition, but also what it's been like for her to share the messages about her family and history. Tina, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you, Cyrus, so much for having me on. It's always a privilege.
The pleasure is definitely all mine. And we have Manswell T. Peterson. He's joining us on Facebook. We are simulcasting this today. So we welcome our audience joining us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Glad you all could be with us as well. Manswell is joining us on Facebook there. So, Tina, we talked about this briefly with Manswell and myself with the show, The Author's Den. But what has it been like for you this past week to be able to start this year off with your book not only being recognized, but also people finding out about it?
Well, I keep to be surprised. I shouldn't be at this point, but every time I get a recognition or something, it's just like, okay, this is not just my story. People are embracing it, and it's the whole story. The whole book is not just of my family, but West Texas history as well. So I love that they're claiming it as their story, and that's what an author's best gift. If what you've written on pages speaks to an audience, that they get a message or that they claim ownership of that. So the recognition is always a bonus.
And Tina, your family, like so many others that have come to this country, have had its share of challenges. I love the fact that in the book Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. I'm going to highlight it again in the carousel for you guys joining us on the Amazon side. I love the fact you're able to chronicle not only, of course, what your family has been able to go through, but also the resilience that they had in being able to push forward. I want to talk about that for a moment. We've talked about faith before, and we're going to get into that in this segment as well. But I want to talk about that resilience because as the subtitle of the book says, some people never give up. What was it like for you to see how, even through the challenges, your family kept persevering?
I think that if you go through a very difficult time in your life, when you're in the depth of it, you're in survival mode. But once you get out of that hardship and you look back and you say, we did it, we survived. And so I think for anybody that's going through a difficult time, if you're in it, that is the time where you just focus and you put all your energy into not giving up. And the result of that will be seen and felt for years to come. So resilience is built while you're in the trial. And so for us, my family, we had many, many challenges coming out of our country of Mexico and then into a brand new country of the United States, learning the language, learning the ways of the people here. There's many, many challenges, and you'll read all about those different challenges in the book. But for a child, like I was 8, it was a totally new challenge because there's exciting new things, but then also you realize, I'm very limited because I don't know the language. So I'm just grateful for those challenges because they made me who I am today.
Yeah, such a great point. Mansell said this book touched my heart, and I think a lot of people are feeling that same way. And the thing is, Tina, and I thought about this from the very first time you and I talked. You and I have never met each other.
No.
But there are so many connections that I think people will feel with you and your family in this book. There's a time when you talk about, of course, your family going through a situation where, water was low. I mean, the things that we sometimes take for granted, for sure. So I want to talk about that, talk about appreciation, because I think a lot of times we can sometimes forget about how fortunate we are, even if we don't have what someone else may have, right? I remember growing up for myself, with my family and thinking, I never thought about that, we didn't have what other people had. I just focused on what we did have as a family. What was that like for you to build that appreciation based on your family being able to really get to be thankful for what they had?
Well, when you come from very little,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden you have the opportunity to have more. In the book, I have a classic example of a bowl of ice cream.
Hmm.
We were not used to being able to purchase ice cream at will. So ice cream was a treat. And this one hot summer afternoon, we come off the field, and I was blistered and burnt to a crisp in the West Texas sun. And I just sat in the tub crying, and my dad knocks on the door and asks, Tina, is everything okay? And I said, no, I can't wash the sand off of my neck because it's so blistered. And in that moment, he had no idea, how do I comfort my daughter? And he said, well, hurry up and get washed up, and then when you get done, we'll go get some ice cream. I could wash my neck in like with no problem. That ice cream was such a motivator. And
Yeah.
today's, I have 4 different flavors in my freezer. My grandchildren can come over. They don't know the lack thereof. So for me, that ice cream was not just the bowl of sweetness, but it was the caring voice of my father. That was the only thing he could offset his almost guilt of having his daughter and all his children out on the cotton fields. So those are the type of things. If you don't have anything, then just the little things are huge, and they make such an impact in your life.
Such a great point. I'm probably going to get this name incorrect, and Tina, maybe you can help me. Is it pronounced Om? AOM?
Oh, my
Um,
friend, welcome,
um,
Uh-huh.
thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate that. Says good morning. Ricardo, hello to you. Ricardo says hello as well. He's joining us on Facebook. Also, we have Suzette Lang joining us. Hey, Suzette, good to be able to see you over on Facebook as well. And that's the other thing about community, because your family was able to not only stay together, as blood, but you're able to build community as well. Tina, talk to us about that. What has that been like for you to think about the people you've connected yourself to throughout the years?
Oh, just absolutely amazing, because I often say we have way more similarities than we do differences.
Yeah.
So when this community accepted us, I know Julie's on here. Her family was here way before my family came, and so many of the community people, they accepted the new immigrants coming to this area, and we've been able to build those relationships and those bridges. And so therefore we realize that we're much more alike than what we are different, and that is the beauty of community. So not only was my family able to stay all together, which in today's migrations, that's not always the case. I heard of a dear friend that's having to leave Ukraine right now because it's so difficult out there. So he's leaving many family members behind. And so if I look back from today's migration issues compared to ours back then, we were so fortunate to be able to come as a whole family and stay together. But then having the community embrace us and just learn to live, coexist in an environment, it's been such an amazing experience. And the glory goes to God,
Yeah.
because without him, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
Love that. Tina, I want to say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. I see you guys coming in on the YouTube side as well. I appreciate you guys being with us. We are simulcasting our broadcast today. We're primarily on Amazon Live today, so I want to say hello to you guys over on Amazon as well. If you guys have any questions or comments for Tina, make sure you guys do put those in the chat. I am monitoring those as well. But Tina is an award-winning author of 2 books, seminal, Some People Never Give Up. You guys can see it there. as well as the book, The Little Sandals That Could. I want to spend some time talking about this one as well, Tina, for those who have not had a chance to get it for themselves. Both of them are available here on Amazon. If you guys are not joining us on Amazon, if you're joining us on one of the other platforms, we do have the link there for you guys to come over to Amazon to be able to get Tina's books for yourself. I mentioned I want to talk about faith before we leave Seminole, though, because faith was such a big part of your family's DNA, really,
Mhm.
Tina, because I think it takes faith to be able to make the journey that they did. It takes faith to not give up in the face of the challenges. How is that their example of faith? How has that helped you today, Tina?
Well, it built the pedestal on which I could. It was like a springboard for me because I saw faith in action, and so when in the another story in the book it says where because of the language barrier, my teacher had faith in us coming into the classroom that she was going to be able to teach us something. So she had that faith, but then because of the language barrier, she had to resolve by just showing us, by being hands-on. So I always say that faith is without works is dead, but these people, they put actions to their faith, and so it only built the faith that my family had, but also the faith that we cannot do anything by ourselves or out of our own strength. I'm reminded of the turtle on a fence post. That turtle got help getting on top of there. And so that's to me what faith does. If we can't do it ourselves, we've got to embrace help along the way. And then once we've been given something, then hand it over to my neighbor who is in need. So it's a revolving door. And that's what faith is for me.
Yeah. Melissa says hello to you. Melissa's joining us on the Facebook side as well. Hello to you, Melissa. She didn't speak to me, Tina. She just says, "Hey, Tina." But
Oh, I'm so glad. Hi,
but I,
Melissa.
I had talked to her earlier, so I guess that's why she
Okay.
didn't speak to speak to me.
She's had
Yeah,
her set of Cyrus for the day.
right, exactly. Yeah, she's had enough of me for the day. So let's talk about the little sentence that could, Tina. For those who have not had a chance to read it, they were able to get Tina's own journey, and again, as you mentioned, Tina, so much went into your life, even as a young girl. The thing I want to talk about from the little sentence that could is how even when you first came to this country, and you mentioned the language barrier earlier, the thing I thought about was unfortunately how sometimes when people are different, they're not treated the best. You experienced that in school. Do you think that because of what you were able to see growing up and even the encouragement of your parents, do you think that helped you through those challenges that you faced when you were in school?
Oh, absolutely. Because the every hardship, if you come out with an attitude of that was a lesson that I learned,
Hmm.
it helps you build a character, and all of those little things, all those incidences as a child, they formed my character, and my parents were a great part of it. My mom was a prayer warrior, and with her life living before me, I lost her at a very young age when she was only 66 to cancer. But her life lessons go with me every single day because and my dad, I can speak to him almost on a daily basis. So they continue to reach out and to build me up. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have had parents that really wanted the best, and they did everything they could to make that happen.
Yeah. And now you've been able to share these lessons with your own grandchildren. I mentioned in our previous interview with Mansell and myself these beautiful pictures, Tina, and I have to show
Mhm.
them of you with your grandchildren. I love these pictures because I don't have children of my own, but I think about the pictures of myself with my nephew, being able to experience things with him, and what great memories that are. How does it feel to have these memories here, not only for you, Tina, but also for your grandchildren as well? Tina, I lost your sound there. Uh, uh, let's see. Still lost the sound on you, Tina. Okay, say something now, Tina. Let's see if we can hear you. Can you hear me, Tina? Okay. Looks like hey Tamika. Tina, looks like we still lost the sound. Tina, try to swipe up on your phone. Try to swipe up on there to see if okay. Maybe try the volume button, press the volume button up. Sometimes it'll go out like that. No? Okay. Let's see. No, still can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Tina. For those who are just coming in, we're going to try to see if we can get Tina's volume fixed. We were having just a slight tech issue there. We're going to see if we can get Tina back in. For those who are just coming in, we have award-winning author Tina Siemens joining us today. We're talking with her about her book, Seminal, Some People Never Give Up. You guys see it there, as well as the little sandals that could. There's Tina again. Let's see if we can get her. Okay,
Yeah,
Tina, I think I can hear you now. Yes.
there you go. I have no idea. Technology.
Hey, it happens. It happens. But Tina, I was just asking you though about what it was like for you to have these pictures of your grandchildren in here, not only for you, but also to be able to share with them as well.
Well, there is just absolutely a joy to be able to have my grandchildren right around me and to teach them. Two of them stayed with me this weekend, and I had a Bible lesson with them yesterday morning, and it was just so wonderful to be giving to them what we've been given, even though they don't have the hardships that they have to go through that I did at their age, but seeing them absorb the stories that I tell them, it is truly the best gift ever to be able to give to the next generation what we've learned and went through.
Mm. You had an interesting experience that happened with the sandals in your book. Tell our audience about that, Tina, and why that was so special for you.
Well, when we left Mexico, we went. It was two families, and we're both seven in each family, mom and dad, and 5 kids each. And so they hired a driver with a single cab pickup with a camper shell. And so with 5 in the cab and the rest of us all in the camper shell, there was 0 room for suitcases or personal belongings. So we practically came with the clothes on our back. And so I had to leave my doll behind, and my few little toys that I had, they all had to stay behind. So the only thing that I valued so much was my purple sandals. And so I took that as a lesson of being able to walk into a new life, having the armor of these pair of sandals. And they were so precious to me. They were those jelly sandals that I washed with me every night when I took a bath. Those sandals would get washed. So that was my pride and joy. That was something that belonged to Tina. And so those sandals have had many life lessons in themselves. And that's why I named the title of the book, The Little Sandals That Could.
Yeah, it's a great dedication as well. Says, let's see. I love this picture too. Great memories for them forever. I totally agree with that, and that's the beautiful thing about the pictures, but it's also the great thing, Tina, about the books. Because again, we had a great conversation talking about this recently about the history. Tina, did I lose you? Okay, there you go. Okay, okay. Looks like I lost your volume again, Tina. You lost the volume again. Let's see. Um, let's see. See if I can help you on my end, Tina. Yeah, I can't. Can't. Can you hear me, Tina? Okay, I can't hear you. Hmm. Tina, you wanna go back out and try to come back in? Yeah, yeah. Try that. Guys, there's tech issues or something that can happen anytime. So we definitely know what that can be like. Oh, there she is. That was quick.
See what's
All
happening.
right. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem, Tina.
Then all of
I
a
was just
sudden
gonna
you're talking and I can't hear you.
Yeah, I just was saying about the importance of history, and
Mhm.
I think for you, this is history now that you've been able to chronicle and share with the world, and again, people are really responding to it. What do
Yeah.
you want our audience to know, Tina, as we wrap up here about the importance of their own history?
It is so important to know your history because history tends to repeat itself. And so
Mhm.
if you know your history, then you can avoid the pitfalls, but also the good that has happened in history, you can multiply that by teaching it to somebody else and giving it to somebody else. So it's so important that we know if you love history or not, know your family dynamics, know what you are, what do you want to give to the next generation, and some have more than others, but everyone has. If you are a living breathing creature today, you have history because yesterday is history. So
Yeah.
for us to be able to build on what we've experienced and to give that to somebody else, that's the importance of knowing your history and then in blessing somebody else with it, because your experiences might be something that somebody else wants to hear as an encouragement, or as I'll just come by next to you and let's walk this path together. So it is so important that we know our history and then giving it to the next generation, or just somebody that crosses our path. Maybe it's somebody that's just a phone call, or somebody that's seen a text message, or a
Mhm.
post on one of your social medias. Uh, People are watching, like you always say, people are watching
Yeah.
what we do. And if I live what the lessons I've learned from history, then I'm doing my part to allow somebody else to live through my experiences. And so I think that's the beauty of knowing what is it that you want to give to somebody else, and your experiences in the past is exactly that.
Such a great point. Again, everyone, award-winning author Tina Siemens has been our guest. You can get her book Seminal, Some People Never Give Up, and The Little Sandals That Could, here on Amazon. So for you guys joining us on Amazon, you'll see the books either here on the side or down below. If you guys are not joining us on Amazon and you're joining us on one of the simulcast places, don't worry. The link is there to be able to bring you over to Amazon to be able to get the books for yourself. Tina, another great conversation with you. How can our viewers stay connected with you?
All social medias. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can email me. My phone numbers are on these pages. Feel free to reach out to me. I can send a signed copy. I would just love to hear from you. And if you have any questions, reach me at seminalthebook@gmail.com, or my personal page, k.siemens@yahoo.com. And also now the different social media groups. So just reach out to me. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
All right, love that. Tina, always a pleasure speaking with you. Looking forward to our next chat together.
Sounds great. Thanks for
All right,
having me.
more than welcome. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for being with us today. You all make it a great one. We'll talk soon.